Hello, Chattanooga. You're listening to AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. Watch with Keon Rose is the show. Nooga Radio is the station. NoogaRadio.com is the website. It's a very simple website. Go to the website, open the website, listen to the stuff on the website. There's links, by the way, to our social media, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. On the Facebook and on the YouTube channels, we're going to be putting up the interview with Chattanooga Eagles head coach Hayden Clark as they head to their championship game. They're just leaving town right now. So good luck to the Eagles as they go to face the Thunder and bring a title back to Chattanooga.
Also on YouTube, my beautiful face on the live recording of the broadcast. Just in case you wanted to see, put a face to the magic, whatever.
Your face?
A face to the magic. Say the whole thing or don't say it at all.
Debatable. Beautiful? Debatable.
You know what? I didn't come here to be insulted. Just, can we move on?
No, you can't.
Is that okay?
To derail my radio program.
I'm not derailing your radio program.
Not
your
at the
program
moment.
Needed to be fine-tuned and to be prodded and see where it leaked. And it's spilled all over the radio equipment. It's gone off the rails, but because it had deficiencies. Now I've exposed them to you. You can be better about it. You're welcome.
So what you're saying here is that you're actually figuring out.
I'm a stress tester. I'm the thing they do to iPhones when they're like bending them. So they can see at what point when you shove them into your pocket enough, if they like bend in half, and then like, well, if you do it, too brittle, too rigid. Second time you shove it in your pocket, it breaks. This is what your radio show's at. And I want to bring it to like the 18th time. You shove it into your pocket, and then like you don't have to walk back to the iPhone store. This is a whole take that I have. You're welcome. This is also another you're welcome moment. That's all I'm just saying. Why? Go ahead.
All right. I'm glad that happened. I'm glad that you were able to do that. Got off your chest? Is it all?
I mean, I'm doing a selfless act and I keep getting accused of derailing a program. It's selfless.
You are, but that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. What I want to talk about. I am
selfless? Is that what you were saying? I'm sure that's what you were saying. Don't finish any more points.
What I would like to talk about today is Colin Kaepernick some more, which I know that everybody is thrilled with the concept of talking about more Kaepernick.
I haven't got a chance to blow my opinion on the radio.
So. Oh, but you will now. Because the Jacksonville Jaguars, which I've pointed out many times, this week, in fact, are in need of a quarterback, and there just happens to be one that's pretty decent out there in the wind.
I mean, so are the Jets and also the Browns. I mean,
right, but they're not willing to sign him. Right.
And the 49ers, the team that he left.
And the Browns just drafted a guy.
The Texans probably need another one. I mean, you just drafted him. That doesn't mean he's not the guy you just drafted will not be ready for like another 4 years.
He won't be ready, but I'm talking about a team with nobody on the roster and there's no plan for this season with a guy. Right? Like the Texans have Tom Savage.
The season shouldn't the plan to be like, let's put like an actual competent player at the most important position in football? That should be your plan.
Yeah, but
why isn't that your plan, Keon?
Well, because if you want to look at just the way that the league is going, like you're trying to build for the future. You're the Browns. You're not winning this year anyway. You're just trying to have a guy that's not so bad he sinks your entire team, like Brock Osweiler was doing to the Browns, and Kaiser is not doing that.
Well, okay,
he's wrong?
But just be really bad. Then I don't understand. Help me understand football, because in the NBA, the key is to just be very terrible. Don't be mediocre. You don't get brownie points for being a 35 wins.
It works differently in the NFL, and it works differently because there's only 16 games in a season. So being mediocre halfway through the season, if somebody else gets injured, that opens things up for you. Let me tell you about the Jacksonville Jaguars in their division right now. In your division is the Titans. A lot of people are high on the Titans, but we're not actually sure yet. We got the Colts, Andrew Luck, and that shoulder. Marcus Mariota.
Are we sure he's
been legit so far.
Are we sure he's good?
He's trending in the right direction. I mean,
he's trending in the right direction.
Yes. Okay, here's a good Marcus Mariota stat for you. Marcus Mariota
still stare down people?
No, actually.
Are you sure?
I am sure.
Okay.
Marcus Mariota in the red zone, since he's been in the league, 30 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Okay, that's impressive. I was already laying my face up.
Yeah, no, you were doing the face. Marcus Mariota's been solid. He's been solid, is my point.
But I don't really think he's that good. Are we sure he's good? Like, that's what I'm asking you.
Well, he came from a spread attack and a read option thing, and then of course, I'm looking at the way that their team. Mike Mularkey is the head coach of that team. I don't like Mike Mularkey as a coach. Mike Mularkey is like, here's what we're gonna do.
Listen, we talk a lot about great names over on this program over the past 3 days. Mike Mularkey.
Mike Mularkey.
That's 1A on my list.
And by the way, Mularkey describes the man and his offensive scheme. Exotic smash mouth.
Ooh.
A combination of just power running north-south football and the read option. This is where Mike Mularkey has decided to go. Sounds like malarkey.
Sounds like hardcore 90s hip-hop music.
Oh, boy.
And 80s classic rock. It sounds like
just a bizarre combination of genres. Exotic Smash Mouth. I was like, get out of here with that.
I would love to sample one day just a little bit of what I think Exotic Smash Mouth was in not a football context. I just want to like sing a little rap song for you guys.
Right.
And I didn't misspeak. Yes, sing a little rap song.
Well, Smash Mouth is the band that gave us All Star. So if you want to take that,
can we legally sing All Star on the radio? Can I? How many seconds?
You can 4 seconds. Sing it. Yeah.
Hey, I'm not gonna sing.
Yeah, don't sing it.
I mean, I can sing for the people. You know,
make their ears bleed on the way
White
to their heart. Wow.
Barry White.
Not Barry White.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
More like Barry Manilow.
Okay, I thought you were gonna say the Kool-Aid Man, but you know, you can say Barry Manilow and like walk off, you old man. You old man. How old was that reference? Honestly. What happened there? Barry Manilow? I said, oh yeah, literally like the Kool-Aid Man. And you said Barry Manilow. I gave you one, and instead of taking it, that's one more hole that needs to be patched before I leave. Wow.
Clutch with Keon Rose and AM 1240 at 92.7 FM. The derailing has commenced. But my point is, you can be mediocre in the NFL. You can't be mediocre in the NBA, because being mediocre in the NBA is the same as being bad without any of the rewards of being bad. Being mediocre in the NFL means you get hot halfway through the season and some other teams suffer some injuries, which always happen.
I've always thought
you could fall into the playoffs.
Like as a Chargers fan, I regularly find myself giving up around week 8 or 3 and 5. Phillip has looked out of sorts. What's wrong with Phillip? His arm. He's not throwing the same distance as he used to. It's not the same velocity. He's never had velocity, but we somehow bring it up every time. And I'm just ready to give up. And then the Chargers get hot. And they win one game. And I'm like, one game. Who cares? Just beat the Browns. They go see the Packers. They beat the Packers. And I'm like, what's happening? Are we good now? We're 5-5. 5-5, Keon. That's something. Win one more game. We beat another bad team. I'm convinced. Okay, we're 6-5. I'm now looking at divisional standings, and this is the worst feeling in the world.
Oh, yeah, no, the divisional standings.
I'm looking at standings, and I'm like, if they lose these 2 games that they're supposed to lose, and we just win 3 games that we're supposed to win, we're there. We're 9-7. That's good enough for a wild card spot.
That's how the NFL gets you. The divisional standings. When you start to look at the standings and you go, oh, man, we're 2.5 games back, man. We are halfway through the season. We're 2.5 games back.
We finished like.
Yeah, man.
No.
They get you in the divisional stand. When the NFL,
like 6-10.
This is why the NFL. This is why the NFL works.
Spoiler alert.
They get you finishing with it by looking at the divisional standings. In the NBA, there's no such thing, right? Like in the NBA, for being mediocre, because you don't get draft picks like the bad teams do, and you don't get to be in the postseason. It's even
stranger than that. Like you can make the playoffs and still be considered mediocre. Like 8-7, everybody knows they're getting bounced.
Right.
Everybody knows it. Like it's like a foregone conclusion. It's like, are you out in 5 or 4 games in the playoffs? And it's just sort of like
it's to me, it's the same as being mediocre. You're upper mediocre. A lower NBA playoff team is still a mediocre basketball team.
That's true.
And so like that to me, I think the playoffs are just too wide. Like when you look at baseball, like say whatever it is that you want about baseball, but come postseason time, nobody gets in but the good teams. Like nobody.
And then it gets random from there.
Yeah, it gets random from there. But
you think that baseball would be like the most exciting sport because they have a situation where the best teams almost always play for a spot to win the pennant. And then when you get in there, it's not a foregone conclusion. It's not the Warriors are going to win this.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I find baseball to be highly compelling in the postseason. To me,
it's not.
I like the baseball postseason. I
started to watch the baseball postseason, and what I find is that it's just baseball. But, you know, with a lot of people holding their breath around me, and I'm just like, okay, I'm cold.
All right, but you don't like baseball.
I'm just saying
abundantly clear.
Nothing has really changed, and there are less fights because now people don't want to risk getting suspended.
But I just, I'm not sitting down on a Wednesday afternoon and going, well, I don't know. I guess I could watch the Reds and the Braves. I just don't feel like it. Whereas when the postseason is there, and I'm like, oh, there are 2 good teams that like you shorten your pitching rotation so you get to see all the best pitchers. Yeah, no, I'm all behind that. So yeah, I don't have a problem with that. But that's the thing with baseball is you don't get punished for being a low-seeded playoff team because it took a lot for you to be in the playoffs in the first place.
160 games. I can't even imagine. We can't fix baseball for a second time in a row. More fights. We got that. We've covered that. We've run over that hill. Let's jump back to the NFL. So the Jaguars are going to sign Kaepernick, is what you're saying?
Well, the owner said he's open to the idea. Doug Marrone, who is a head coach in the NFL, and by virtue, his job is on the line like always, I think has to consider it. And once they both consider it, if the owner's okay and the coach is okay, the general manager just kind of has to make that happen then.
I mean, it baffled me that he wasn't in their training camp because you knew what Blake Bortles was. Circa last year, but the last 5 games of last year.
The Jaguars, at no point did they ever function as though they knew what Blake Bortles was because they signed the extension.
They convinced themselves about stuff. We talked about this yesterday as well. It's just like the Jaguars just don't make great business decisions. And I can't do this. I want Kaepernick to have a job in the NFL. I think he's good enough to be a backup minimum. He's probably better than 10 of the quarterbacks starting right now in the NFL. Why can't he have a job? That's what we're talking about. We're not even talking about like his weirdness. I don't want to say weirdness. I find his argument constructed well and legitimate, and so not weirdness. So his like well-constructed argument that has sort of then drifted into like his not so well-constructed like decision-making around the argument. The disastrous Castro shirt.
The Castro shirt, the pig socks.
Yeah, the thing that might be keeping him from getting a job in Florida that is a place full with Cuban people is the fact that he wore a Fidel Castro shirt that was not completely denouncing the human rights violator that is Fidel Castro. So,
yeah, I think, look, he's got problems. I had a caller call in. I believe it was Tex who was at the station before. Tex made some great points about like just how the failed execution of Colin Kaepernick's protest. But I'm just saying that should not stop him from being on an NFL team. I think if he's competent enough to play the position. Is a substantial protest that took no human life and therefore is a well-executed protest. And so I mean, I'm not sure what your caller's points were. I'm sure he's a wonderful human being named Tex. That wasn't a shot. No, continue. Okay. But to me, just because someone disagrees with what you're saying, you can't. The fact that his protest is illegitimate because of all the other stuff, you have to like look at the protest itself. And the protest itself was him sitting during the national anthem, which is a clear sign of I cannot participate in this thing until it's fixed. Now, all the other stuff that I'm not voting because it doesn't matter, right? Or all that stuff. Okay, I get that, and it may to you influence how you see Colin Kaepernick, but the protest itself was a well thought out, thoughtful way to go about thinking about Black people's role in this country and how they're treated, which is darker than I wanted to go. Right. Now, yeah, you try and avoid all those. This is my show primarily when you're not here. I know all of those things. And I want to keep it lighthearted and bubbly. And I want to make fun of people for having cocaine addictions. And that's the kind of thing that I'm into. Ah, yes. That. But here's my ultimate point. We'll get back to the Jaguars thing here. Is that Kaepernick is a guy that's competent enough to play the position. And you are a team in the NFL. And in the NFL, what is the one thing that league sells us on? It sells us on parity. And you look at that division, there's nothing more in the definition of parity than what that division is. So what is the case for the Jaguars? They start off abysmally. They stumble through 5 games and are 1-4. Okay. Right, let me grab the schedule here for the Jags. In fact, we can make this even more scientific. We could go game by game, and I could just tell you all the games that the Jaguars will lose. It'll be most of them. I don't even know why we're pretending like the Jaguars are going to be remotely good. They weren't remotely good last year. No, it's not about whether or not they'll be remotely good because in the NFL, Blaine Gabbert? Or they have to, right? Because they picked up his option. You mean Blake Bortles? Blake Bortles. Another terrible quarterback. No, Blaine Gabbert is off being terrible somewhere else. Maybe not in the NFL. He's being terrible on the 49ers last year. I don't know if he's still there. I just think I want. Well, okay, well, who is the other quarterback then? Like, who's this other? Is Vince Young coming back? No. What if they signed Vince Young over Kaepernick? That's kind of to me the dream. No, because then because if you sign Vince Young over Kaepernick, that's it. You just don't want that dude back in the league. No, I want dysfunction. Oh. I want to know the most dysfunctional team. When the Sacramento Kings were out here giving away draft picks for nothing, so that people could take what's his face Stauskas off their hands. When they were out doing that, and it was clear that they were the worst run franchise in the NFL, and the NBA. That's the kind of thing that I could point and I could laugh to, and on a regular basis, just tell people about. Like, look,
You want to see high comedy? Watch the Jaguars attempt to be an NBA team. They're not good. Spoiler alert. It ends disastrously. And we got the list up. Here we go. All right.
We got the schedule. Don't ignore this top game here. I believe this is still preseason.
Okay.
So Sunday, September 10th, against the Houston Texans.
Wow. Okay.
Because that's in their division.
Wow.
Then this is probably a Tom Savage-led Houston Texans.
Wow.
By the way.
Okay. Texans win that 10-7 next game.
They play the Titans.
Oh, wow.
And the Titans.
Apparently Mariota is a red zone savant. So who knows? But let's say 17-3. I'm not putting a whole lot of points on the board for either team. These are bad football teams. Keep going.
They play the Ravens.
I have no idea what the Ravens are. Do you know?
Bad.
They're bad. I mean, I know they're bad, but like, how bad are they? Like, how are we talking? Like, they could be 2-3, and people be like, "Well, the Ravens look risky this year," and then they end 5-11.
Quite bad.
They're bad. They're okay. They're super bad.
Just injuries on that team.
Draw 3-3.
Okay, wow. Jets.
I know they're even worse than the Ravens.
The Jets.
They get their first win.
There it is.
Jaguars are officially 1-3.
Because the Jets are going to play Christian Hackenberg and see what it is that they have in Hackenberg, which is the thing that they knew and we knew all along, which is nothing. All right, Steelers.
The Steelers don't bring all of their starters, and they still beat them by 13 points.
Rams.
The Rams don't bring all of their starters and win by 7 points.
Colts.
The Colts just bring Andrew Luck, win by 21 points.
Andrew Luck's shoulder is separated from his body, and we don't know when he'll return.
He'll return by October 22nd and throw with just his left hand, and will win by 21 points.
Okay. Bengals.
Do they still have Andy Dalton as their quarterback?
Yes, Andy Dalton's still there. And he's still average.
I like Andy Dalton.
He throws the ball to A.J. Green. Okay? He throws lots over there.
A surprise upset. The Bengals lose this football game. They shouldn't have. The Chargers by 1,000,000 points.
Okay. Browns
by 8 points.
Cardinals
by 12 points. I'm giving unorthodox scores now because I'm not really sure what's going to happen.
I was going to say 12 million points. Colts again.
Whew. Okay, Andrew Luck is feeling better, but they still lose because someone has to.
Seahawks.
Well, the Seahawks win that, but like they score 20 and they just stop playing and then they win.
Texans again.
Meaningless football at this point, and the Texans probably might be trying to push away from into the playoffs. The Jaguars have given up at this point. They've got no hope, and they just take a beating that they didn't need to take. They lose by like 30 or something. That's an actual reasonable take. Okay, you have to admit, out of all of the other ones, which were just pure nonsense, that one was actually well thought out and could actually happen. The 49ers are just an abysmal football team. It's the poop bowl.
It's the doo-doo bowl.
It's the doo-doo bowl, and it's going to be like the Super Bowl for the Jaguars. The Jaguars bring everything they have, still lose by 10.
You have the Jaguars currently as a 2-win football team.
That's right, Keon. The Jaguars are a 2 to 4 win football team. I think that's an accurate statement.
Okay, and that's with the quarterbacks on the roster as is, correct?
Right, and even if they get Kaepernick, they might be a 5 football. I mean, they're not going to be good. It is that I don't know. The thing about this controversy is that people are afraid that Kaepernick's back in the league. He's going to It's not going to mean anything. He's on a bad football team. He's on a bad football team.
Because here's the thing:
people in Jacksonville don't go to watch.
Right. Doug Maroney, the head coach of the football team, said that preferably his offense would be, let's just give the ball to Leonard Fournette 5,000 times a game.
Well,
he doesn't want either human that throws the ball on that team throwing the ball.
See, that's what I'm saying. They're going to be terrible.
That's the thing. In the NFL, you do have to pass even occasionally. And I would say, from what I've seen from Blake Bortles, and we just watched videos and highlights from last night's game of Chad Henne just throwing interceptions into everywhere.
Because Chad Henne and Blake Bortles
are the same person. Chad Henne is simply older Blake Bortles. We're going to be having this conversation about Blake Bortles and some other guy that stinks 8 years from now.
Wait, Blake Bortles is still in the league 8 years from now?
I think he is still in the league.
That's a failure of the NFL
he's
to
a big, strong
churn out bad things and bring up talent. That means that the NFL has a production line problem, because your whole purpose should be let's find people who can actually do the job and bring them up to the forefront. And if you're not doing that, you're a bad football organization. And maybe that's just the Jaguars, but I'm going to put this on the whole NFL. This Blake Bortles is in the league 8 years from now. We know he can't play. The man can't even do. He's not going to help you even in backups. His footwork is bad in camp. What are you talking about?
Watch this. Okay, so we're coming up to the break here. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up a list of NFL quarterbacks, and we're going to play the game of surprise that guy is still in the league.
Oh, this is going to be exciting.
Oh, yes.
Please stick around for this, guys.
We're going to be surprised that guys, because you're telling me you're going to be shocked that Blake Bortles is still in the league, and I'm telling you there are a bunch of guys who are in the league now that you would be surprised are still in the league.
Everything we're good at. This is us making fun of people and also high comedy, people being bad at quarterback.
Clutch with Keon Rose. Next.
Chattanooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM's news now.
Day 4, 69-year-old Carol Gaddy held as a political prisoner in Sequatchie County. She refused to allow an illegal warrantless search of her home. Chattanooga police violent crimes investigators arrested LaMarcus Smith, charging him with criminal homicide, especially aggravated robbery, and possession of a weapon during the commission of a dangerous felony. He's accused of shooting and killing DeMarcus Collins, who was 24 years old, on South Kelly Street back on July the 30th. If you live in Walker County, your taxes are going to go up. County Commissioner Shannon Whitfield, the sole commissioner, has outlined new charges for Walker County citizens who could be paying up to $1,000 per parcel of property in the new property tax plan. There's also a possible increase in sales taxes. This is all to pay off the debt the county owes to Erlanger. And the police have revealed that the victim in the Oakland Avenue shooting is the suspect's own cousin. Russell Stroud, Nooga Radio News, now.
In-depth traffic, news, and information. Mornings on Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
AM 1240 and 92.7 FM's fast forecast now. Temperatures in the low 80s as we close out this Thursday and the sun goes down. Not a cloud in the sky. Expecting some rain on Saturday, but not today or tomorrow. A high tomorrow of 88 and a low of 64. Partly cloudy for our upcoming Friday, and then Saturday again, partly cloudy with a possibility of rain. That's your fast forecast now.
The Tennessee Valley's news, talk, and sports leader. Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
Hi, this is Chrissy.
And this is Summer
of Summer Cares. There are too many homeless veterans in Chattanooga. Please help us in our Shoebox for Veterans campaign. You can fill a shoebox with hand warmers, hand sanitizers, hand wipes, cough drops, razors, shaving cream, toothbrush, toothpaste, soap, shampoo, deodorant, snacks, socks, gloves, and even a small blanket.
And make sure you drop your shoeboxes or your shoebox items off at Nooga Radio Studio on Hickson Pike across from Bojangles below Goss Insurance or Alpine Crest Elementary School.
Please join us at the Community Kitchen in Chattanooga on November 10th from 11 to 12:30 and help us distribute these care packages to the homeless veterans of Chattanooga. No veteran should ever go homeless.
Hi, this is Eric Pelton. Taxes, accounting, business advice. I've got a neat brochure, 12 ways to improve your business profits. Come on by for a free consultation and we'll give you a copy. E.J. Pelton Company, 332-3339.
When my brother and I opened our first Jets Pizza, we believed if we made the best pizza, customers would find us. So we made fresh dough each day, used fresh toppings, and premium mozzarella cheese. 300-plus stores later, we still do.
Try Jet's famous 8-corner pizza with premium mozzarella cheese and one topping, now just $11.99 for a limited time only. Jet's Pizza, the best pizza in town. 3600 Hickson Pike.
Life is short. Eat better pizza.
Let's get Jets.
When you shop online for a weapon, you avoid the sales tax. But now you can buy local at Shooter Supply, and you'll do just as well, if not better. Here's how. 10% off of ammo and accessories, or 20% off of the handgun permit class, or you can get 20% off the range membership. You deduct the taxes online, and in Shooters, you do even better. And let Shooter's consignment program turn that rifle into cold, hard cash. Shooter Supply, Hickson. Shooters Supply, Hickson.
I have the best steak selection in town. Name of the business is Don's Meat Shop, and I'm Donnie Raines. Just ask for Donnie. I make over 20 different types of sausages. Most of them are great for grilling. We have the best selection, best quality. We have the hard-to-find items. Don's Meat Shop.
This is Thomas DeMoss with Keller Williams Realty. I am a realtor in Chattanooga. We list and sell homes, work with buyers, work with home sellers. I have been involved in real estate for over 10 years. My background is as a real estate investor. That is what I bring to the table, is that real estate investor mindset. My job is to help you sell your house for the most money, employing the best marketing strategy and walking you through what can be a rather stressful process. So we are encouraging people who are on the fence or even thought about selling their house to give us a call. There's no obligation. We're just here to kind of have a conversation, let people know what the process is like, what the market is like, what values they can expect to receive. We work with buyers as well. I also have a buyer's agent that works exclusively with my buyers because we want to give our clients as much attention as we can. My cell phone number is 423-364-0028. Our website is northriverpropertygroup.com. That's northriverpropertygroup.com. We'd love for you guys to call us.
Hi, I'm David Crockett, and I'm here with David Tulis, and we're having a little discussion over who's the number one Nooga centrist. If you want to keep up with free market ideas, then read Nooganomics.com. David Tulis, the blogger with the biggest pen.
Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM knows your opinion is important. So call 800-8949. Agree or disagree. Call 423-800-8949. 800-8949. Nooga Radio, AM 1240, 92.7 FM, and 95.3 HD4. News, talk, sports. Nooga Radio.
Hello, Chattanooga. You're listening to AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. Clutch with Keon Rose is the show. Nooga Radio is the station. NoogaRadio.com is the website. And we've got a game that we literally just made up moments ago because I was telling my brother just now that Blake Bortles is going to be the Chad Henne in the NFL 8 years from now, where Blake Bortles is going to be somebody's other option, and there's going to be some other young quarterback stinking up the joint, and Blake Bortles is going to be the other option that we're looking at, the same way we're looking at Chad Henne as the only other option to Blake Bortles, which is a situation so smelly and so profoundly terrible that the owner of the Jags and the head coach, I mean, both of them have said we would consider adding Colin Kaepernick to this team. That's how bad the situation is. And my brother said that if Blake Bortles is still in the league 8 years from now, that is a fundamental failing of the NFL. And I said there's guys in the league now that you would not think are in the league. So now we're going to play the game of, wow, that dude's still in the league.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And here comes, we're going to do this alphabetically. I'm just going to go down the list of NFL players in the league based on just the names that pop out to me.
And to be clear, we're just doing QBs.
We're just doing quarterbacks. So
okay.
that dude's still in the league. Ready? Player one, Derek Anderson.
What?
Still in the league.
What? I thought the Browns cut him. Didn't the Browns have him and then?
Yeah, he was their starter once.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I mean, they're the Browns. Everyone was their starter once. But the point is,
you got to start. Listen, that's Derek Anderson's like the 32nd best quarterback.
13th season in the NFL.
Oh,
Mr.
boy.
Derek
No,
Anderson.
it's not 32nd. He just knows people. Whose dirt does he have? Like, that's what I want to know. Like he must have seen somebody do something they weren't supposed to do, because there's no way you're still in the league after that. Come on now. Who's next up?
Sam Bradford.
Okay, that's
look. Sam
down.
Bradford is he's captain check down, which is crazy.
Down.
Because when Sam Bradford, 8 years in the league, by the way, when Sam Bradford was drafted into the NFL, running that offense that they were running in Oklahoma, strong arm was how you described him.
I mean,
so it's just
right after that glass cannon, this should be the next 2 words out of your mouth.
Probably. I'm just saying.
Because all Sam Bradford did is just injure himself out of all of his athleticism. Also, can a man wear a baggy t-shirt? Like, aren't you supposed to, like, what happened to like the super tight jersey to avoid sacks? And then, like, I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, Sam Bradford when any player is next to him, he just sort of lays down. I get that,
but Sam Bradford looks like he's wearing his dad's shirt.
Yeah,
it's just so loose.
And his dad must be like an extraordinarily obese man because like he's already wearing shoulder pads and like the little sternum protector thing. It's weird. Stop it.
Oh,
why are
man.
you wearing the shirt like that? You're a fan of yours who drinks like an entire keg of beer per weekend would wear? Like, why? Where did like quadruple XL really, Sam Bradford?
Yeah.
All right, but
4XL for Mr. Sam Bradford. Here's another one still in the league. Kellen Clemens.
I don't know who that is.
Really? He's on your team. You root for the Chargers. He's on your team, and he's been all over the league. I don't know.
Kellen Clemens. Say my team. I'm a San Diego Chargers fan.
Oh, okay.
If he was in San Diego, then I would have obviously.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a sore subject, obviously.
Okay.
So Kellen Clemens used to be a starter for the New York Jets.
Are you kidding me? I thought Kellen Clemens was black. Did you not think he was black?
I did not. At no point in my life did I ever.
That sounds like a. I'm not going to go down the street with me. Don't make me racist twice in the show.
You made yourself racist. Also, 12th season in the league for Kellen Clemens.
How do you people? I mean, people are paying him money.
People are paying him money
to not do anything.
Preseason so far, he's got a 39.6. Well, look, NFL third stringer is a fantastic job. You get paid, $60,000, $70,000 to throw to the scout team. I mean, this is not to throw with the scout team. This is not bad. This is not a bad situation whatsoever. Let's see who else I can dig up here. Oh, yes. I would say he's not the king, but he's like second in command of still in the league. Ryan Fitzpatrick still playing football on this earth in the NFL.
Here's what's surprising there is that we all know what Ryan Fitzpatrick is. Like
he started multiple times in this league, by the way.
I'm not saying that, but we know we've given him chances. We know what he is. He's an interception machine.
And yet, 13th season in the NFL. He's entering season number 13.
Is the concept there that you have him and then you surprise people with him, like they haven't game planned for the amount of risk he will take on? Is that like I don't understand? But why is my question?
That is a great question.
I don't understand. Like what led you to that point where we're like, oh, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Where Ryan Fitzpatrick is the guy that you've decided.
Because if you're like at any point, my guy's one hit away from being on the sideline, and then Ryan Fitzpatrick is my guy. I mean, rethink what you're doing. Rethink it.
Rethink it a lot.
Thad Lewis?
Thad Lewis came into the league 5 years ago. I just have not ever seen Thad Lewis play.
He's just one of these project guys who stay projects.
You stay a project. He's 29 years old, but he stays a project.
He's still a project. We drafted him
still working on it. He'll work out eventually.
With the intention of taking all those raw skills, turning it into something, and like it never did.
Here's another Kellen for you. Kellen Moore.
No!
Still in the league. 6 years. The man out of Boise State.
Another project.
28 years old. Stay in a project.
Stay a project. I mean, look, someone has to have the job, I guess. That's what we've come down to is like basically the NFL is just like, well, we know the like 8 dudes who like we can actually play, and then like the 8 dudes after them were Andy Dalton or Andy Dalton clones.
Right.
And then after that, it's an abyss. It's nobody who can play this position at that level.
Here's a guy that's surprisingly still in the league, not out of age necessarily, just out of he's terrible. And
Ryan Mallett,
29 years old, 7th year in the league. This is not a project anymore. Like people have just given up on Ryan Mallett.
No, okay. See, what we've seen here is that these project guys, low key, this is where the entire second QB market is. Okay, Ryan Mallett has aged beautifully, like wine.
Really? Because he threw
a second string quarterback
before. Wow, no, because before the season began, right when we started bringing up the Colin Kaepernick possibly to the Ravens conversation, a lot of it had to do with the fact that Ryan Mallett was out there running with the ones, and he threw 5 interceptions in a practice. A practice which is designed, by the way, to make the quarterback look good.
Look, I understand that, but here's the thing with Ryan Mallett. Okay, Ryan Mallett has aged beautifully into the second string quarterback position. He looks great with the clipboard and the headset. All right? Looks great. Helmet always in view. He looks great.
Clutch with Keon Rose here on AM 1240 at 92.7 FM on Nooga Radio and NoogaRadio.com. We are playing a wonderful game called Wow, Damn, He's Still in the League. And king of He's Still in the League right here. Okay. Right here. Ready for it?
No, I'm not.
Dan Orlovsky.
Dan Orlovsky?
Dan Orlovsky,
who's a punter. Why did I think he was a punter?
I mean, he's got a punter's face. I mean, look at him. But here's the thing, though, with Dan Orlovsky as well. Dan Orlovsky started with the Detroit Lions. He was a starter for the Detroit Lions at one point in his career. Most notable act as a quarterback is being on that 0-16 team that the Lions had, and running out of the back of the end zone to safety himself in a football game, and not realizing that he had run out of the back of the end zone. To be clear, he was still running as though he had a chance to throw the pass. I believe Jared Allen was credited with the sack.
It was the spatial awareness, Keon, that they drafted him for.
Clearly.
How many years?
12 years in the league.
12 years? We don't know if we're sure on Dan. He must just be the nicest guy. Just
the only reason.
Situations with the most secure. He might be 1 year backing up Aaron Rodgers, and he's just I'm just here to hang with Aaron, play some cards, talk football. Love to talk football. Big talk football guy. That guy loves it. Loves the game.
Oh boy, he's a gym rat.
He's a gym rat. He's in the film room always, never on the field.
So I got another one here of he's still in the league, but this again is not another one of age.
I wonder if they say second string quarterback is just a picture of Dan Orlovsky with his clipboard and his headset, just holding it down.
Professional.
Shine, always got a smile on his face. Always the first guy out to give the high five, that kind of dude. That's why Dan Orlovsky's still in the league.
Professional clipboard holder.
That's why they pay him $2 billion to not do anything. Unbelievable.
Your professional clipboard holder, Dan Orlovsky.
Oh boy.
So here's one that's not of oh man, I just lost it. But here's one that's not, he's not his age, that has me wondering whether or not or why this dude is still in the league. But it is very much just that we've seen everything there is to see of him. Brandon Weeden.
Yeah, we know. There's a lot of people on this list where I'm just really?
We had a pass at Brandon Weeden already.
Yeah, we know. I mean,
it's awful.
I'm not mad at Brandon Weeden for getting the money. I mean, get your paper, stack it up to the ceiling, to the sky.
Right. But here's the thing: is that this is his 6th season in the league. But here's the thing about Brandon Weeden that surprises me is that when Brandon Weeden came into the league, Brandon Weeden was already old.
This is true.
He's 33. He's a 33-year-old 6th-year man in the NFL. And there's just something profoundly odd about that.
It'd be
that
great.
a 33
Here's
is
the story I want.
I
want Brandon Weeden to just figure it all out, put it all together at 35.
and just be
like Aaron Rodgers. And just win the MVP. Lead the Texans all the way to the promised land. Or whoever. He doesn't have to be on the Texans. He's a journeyman. Let's say
where he just has that one, when we thought Kurt Warner had died, he went to New York and he was with the Giants. And we were like, wow, this is boy, Kurt Warner went from Super Bowl champion to this guy. And then he just suddenly revived in Arizona. But if you could get that out of Brandon Weeden.
Well, he would have had to have the first act.
Right. I mean? Well, it could be minus the first act.
Maybe Brandon Weeden still has the 2 acts, but his 2 acts both after the age of 35.
Yeah, they just came very late. Brandon Weeden's first act was in college because he was literally a man playing with boys at Oklahoma State.
I mean, do you think that Brandon Weeden just lacks confidence? What is wrong with these guys? What is it, just some kind of little thing they lack and they just don't have it? And it's just there are certain guys who have it under pressure in the NFL, and then everybody else is boo-boo. Everybody else is, Andy Dalton or less. I don't.
Yeah, I think some guys have it. And then, for instance, you have the David Carr situation where it just got beaten out of him. He had it, and then he just got beaten to death. I see Jared Goff has it now, but if the Rams don't work on that offensive line situation, Jared Goff might not have it for very long.
Do you think Kirk Cousins has too much of it, and his talent does not match his thought or process about himself? Is that what's wrong with Kirk Cousins?
No, I think Kirk Cousins has just the right amount of
really. Oh, you would say that?
No, I'm not.
Humor us about the Redskins.
And because
here we are again.
No, just the Redskins continue to throw money in his direction via the franchise tag. That they are now paying him more money than he's worth, and if they were to tag him again, they'd be paying him more money than Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers is worth put together.
Once again, I want to derail the show.
Okay, well, at least you warned me this time, so we got that.
I got a text from our mother who told me to stop eating on air.
Wow!
She put me on blast. And now you, Mom, are on the radio.
Clutch with Keon Rose here on AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
I'm not a professional.
So there you go. At least I know my mom listens to the show. There's that. Stop eating on the air. Wow.
I'm not eating.
He's not eating at all.
One eat, and then the rest of the time it was I'm drinking water because my palate, because I bloviate so much.
Yeah, nobody wants dry mouth on the air.
Refresh my mouth.
Can I tell you about the time I had a sudden case of dry mouth on the air? I was 17 minutes from the end of the segment and somehow worked my way through. I played every audio clip in my library. You understand? I had to do something.
Get a whole lot of the... Not to do that. That's a really unsexy sound to do.
Like directly into a microphone. Thanks. You're welcome, America.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, America, for that sound that you now just have reverberating in your ears.
Live on Clutch. Nooga Radio.
Here on Nooga Radio.
You're welcome, guys. Come on now.
So yeah, that dude's still in the league. Now, my other story for this segment as we wind up to the end here, Clutch with Keon Rose on AM 1240 and 92.7 FM, is that LeBron James, a lot of NBA executives say that LeBron James is as good as gone. So either NBA executives really just caught up to the realization that we were all clamoring about. Because LeBron James,
so I think they knew, and then now they're like, oh,
now they feel comfortable saying
they're willing to go on record, off the record. Because I mean, you can't start calling that LeBron is leaving. If you're that guy and you go too soon, and then LeBron doesn't leave, then they all remember the first guy. They all remember the Nick Wrights of the world,
right?
The first guy to speak up and just be wrong
and just be absolutely incorrect.
I mean, I don't know,
but
is LeBron leaving, Keon?
I think LeBron's leaving. I don't think that it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to LA the way that a lot of people seem to think that it's a foregone conclusion that he's going to LA. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if he went either, but at this point, nothing that LeBron does would shock me.
Yeah,
LeBron,
here's the 2-point case for LeBron. LeBron doesn't actually think the Cavs are that well run. Okay, these are not mainstream takes. So you're not about to get something that people are going to regurgitate.
Right.
That will run. There's a reason he's holding them hostage,
and there's also
he doesn't believe they understand what it takes to spend to win. Last time he was here, the second best player on his roster when he almost made won the NBA Finals in Cleveland the first time around, way around the first time around. It was Delonte West. Delonte West was his guy. Delonte West. Then okay, we're not going to go to Delonte West saga. It's great, but it's not.
But Google it on your own time.
Right, it's not radio appropriate. It's actually radio appropriate, but we're not going to do it. A great many men have already covered that. The second reason is there's $1 billion figure. Okay, in the movie Up in the Air, our main character, played by George Clooney, said, "There's a number in my head and I haven't hit it." Okay, LeBron has a number in his head. He wants to be the first athlete in his career while he is still actively an NBA player, to make $1 billion. He's close. Okay, you move to LA. All the money, all that stuff that he's like, oh, Cleveland's a thriving city since LeBron came back. LA is already a thriving city. You've got the Olympics coming. He's going to be on every Olympic video thing doing hey, I'm LeBron James. The Olympics are going to be here in 2024. Are you ready? Here's how you sign up to be an Olympian. That kind of stuff. That's all you're going to hear. Anything LeBron can do, he will be so inside your television. You think the man lives there in a genuine way.
Where we are now with Steph Curry and where we were in the 2000s and the 2010s with Peyton Manning, where Peyton Manning was in every single commercial, and you were just God, is there an endorsement
in commercials? That's another thing.
Is he good in commercials? I mean,
he
doesn't say anything really.
There's a lot of Steph Curry behind the back, grab the ball and then shoot it, and it's slow motion.
And it's different, though. It's different with football players than basketball players, because football players, you got the helmets, you can't really see their face. So a football player really needs to have a personality to dominate commercials on TV. Peyton's personality carried him through a lot, because I'm telling you, those Papa John's commercials are not funny and or interesting, but Peyton makes them bearable.
I mean, what about
until the 200th time?
Is it the State Farm one? Which was the State one where he's like,
no, Nationwide.
Farm, you say Nationwide. Chicken Farm, you taste so. That was actually genuinely kind of ingenious.
Yeah,
I just sang Chicken Parm to you, radio audience, and State Farm made more money.
And Nationwide,
same thing.
State Farm's making a lot I because you keep accidentally making the money.
I mean,
but
shout out to my boy Manuel, my State Farm agent.
I mean,
that's the truth.
I have Geico. It's not an endorsement. I'm simply a fan.
You're a fan of Geico?
I mean,
or do you have Geico?
I have Geico.
Okay, see, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
You have Geico. These are not the same thing.
And I'm not entirely certain I saved 15% or more.
You may not. You may actually be paying more money. That might actually be a thing.
I think that might actually have been a lie. But the point is,
and you had that weird little hit run thing that the guy did on your car. And they still have it.
Oh no, three drunk ladies did on my car.
3?
They were all in a car and the security footage is just them being drunk, getting into the car. Scraping my bumper.
So there was
going out to the club, and then they came back to the hotel and parked. in a different location. Like they didn't just do up my car.
Wow. They committed a felony and then they came back.
And then they came back. It was a hit and run, and then they ran back.
Hit and run and return.
They went to the club and then they came back.
A rare hit and run and then return.
And went to bed. Like, that's the thing.
I mean, the ballsiness. That's really good.
This is brazen, absolutely brazen, and went to bed. And the only way that I have any evidence of this is that I parked directly in front of a security camera, and so we got him. But
got him in the act.
Caught him on tape. But man,
I want to say, I don't mean,
just one of the most bizarre incidents I've been involved in. That's for sure.
That's good though. I mean, okay, so we finished our list then. We've been surprised. We laughed. We learned people are still in the NFL. I'm gonna throw out names that I think are for sure. Vince Young's not on a.
No, Vince Young's not on the roster.
I'm just curious. I thought he might be.
He wanted to. He was on a CFL roster, and he actually got cut from that team a few weeks back. So
we know Johnny Manziel's not. Who else?
He's in Cabo with his girlfriend.
He's in Cabo. Well, could Kurt Warner make a return? Do we think that maybe Kurt Warner? I mean,
he's a Hall of Famer. It's not happening.
He could do
what? Got the gold jacket, the title,
Brandon Whedon or Kurt Warner? Who do you really want?
I want Kurt Warner. I remember watching a video on NFL.com where
I'm just saying
Patrick Mahomes, who was a quarterback that got drafted in this draft, Patrick Mahomes. They were trying to see how hard Patrick Mahomes threw the ball. Real hard is the answer to that question. But Kurt Warner was throwing right near him in terms of velocity and more accurately, I noticed.
I mean, Kurt Warner can really play football. We'll just leave it at that. Let's move on to something more interesting. We've already covered LeBron and the Cavs. Yeah, there's nothing we could do until LeBron opens his mouth and goes one way or the other, or just indifferently stares back at us and be like, "Well, what do you think?" Well, you clearly know my life. Yeah, I just want to play basketball. I'm a Clevelandite, and then leaves him in 12 months. But whatever. Go ahead, leave LeBron if you want to. Leave him if you want to.
Clutch with Keon Rose at AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. Let's give our closing thoughts, as though we had not inundated the people enough with the McGregor-Mayweather stuff, because the fight is tomorrow. For better or for worse. For worse, probably. But the fight is tomorrow, for what it's worth.
Oh, my goodness. It's just not been the greatest spectacle. Like, the train that was promised came, and it was mostly the thing that we were, anticipated. It just, it didn't feel good. It was supposed to be like, oh man, race baiting, spectacle, racism,
spectacle, sexism, homophobia. We ran the full gambit of awful. It was
the sewer, as Dan Lebatard would say, just the bottom of the bottom people doing, in the most highest of spotlights. That's what we wanted to see. That's what we signed up for, and what we got was mostly that, and then we were mostly still sad.
You have two guys in a race to the bottom in an attempt to be the most terrible person in a terrible contest. And by the way, Floyd Mayweather wins the terrible contest by a landslide.
Well, he wins on previous behavior, though.
Correct.
We can't.
That's what I'm saying. Don't posture yourself to be.
Conor McGregor might have, I don't know, shouted some racism things at people, but he hasn't beaten people who had were defenseless
and the mother of his children. Let's say.
And who birthed his children into the world.
Possibly in front of the children, allegedly.
Maybe. Who knows?
That's what the police report
says. He got convicted on one of those counts, for sure.
Right. I have to say allegedly because I don't recall exactly which one. So, I'm not trying to get sued on the air.
Meticulously researched radio show. We know things about this thing.
I'm just saying. Floyd Mayweather,
point by point details.
Floyd Mayweather wins the terrible person contest is my thing. So why did we even try and have this race to the bottom? Okay, Connor's going to say some racist stuff. And I'm one of the guys that's look, the racism culturally does not work the same way in Ireland. I really just can't be as offended by what Connor said. And then Connor came and apologized for what has been perceived to have happened.
I mean, listen, Connor's pretty good at I was wrong, and he doesn't agree. When he lost to Nick Diaz, or when he wins a fight or whatever, he's just all of a sudden checks down into this weird, well-controlled, still articulate. Thing that's just
but the humility shows up, and it's that's a different guy.
He just sounds he's well, I respect every man that comes in this ring. Oh, God, about to get
that's actually not bad.
Yeah, listen, Mada. I have 8 words in Irish. The Irish accent is 8 words long.
Hopefully, you don't have any Irish listeners because it's just weird.
I hope that we do. Can I throw out a movie recommendation to the kids?
Go on.
Okay, I'm going to go see the movie Logan Lucky. You should go see it too. I don't know anything about the movie other than the trailer. It has, Channing Tatum in it and James Bond, Daniel Craig, looking really really hillbilly-ish. It's amazing.
Adam Driver's
in it. Adam Driver's amazing as well. And I'm not going to promise that the movie's good. I don't know that. But the trailer looked pretty bomb.
And it's a heist of a NASCAR race.
And then later in the year, go see the most obvious thing, Blade Runner 2049. That's probably the last decent movie that might come out this year. Let's go see that one.
Yeah, Blade Runner 2049, by the way, me and Russell, our news director, every time we've had our show, we have just been ramming it into the ether.
Oh, all right,
just
guys.
Getting it out there.
We don't want to oversaturate the people. Come on, think about the people.
Just go watch the movie. Clutch with Keon Rose on AM 1240 and 92.7 FM. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, folks, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Stay clutch, and I'll see you all on Tuesday.
You probably won't see me again.
But yeah, it'll be a while.
Woo!
In-depth traffic, news, and information. Mornings on Nooga Radio, AM 1240 and 92.7 FM.
You've been in a wreck.
756-6400.
You've been wrongfully fired.
756-6400.
A turkey is suing you out of the blue.
756-6400.
Confused about a business startup?
756-6400.
That's the number for you. 756-6400. Right here, right now, Chattanooga. Call now. Top flight legal help awaits. Get biz advice now. Representation.